Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are you today? Turn this way so I don't get so crooked here. There we go. I hope you guys doing wonderful on this Friday. So this is early in the morning. Usually, my thoughts about helping people with their finances come to me early in the morning for some reason. So I'll get on this live and share with you a combination of uh, things that come to light when I come across clients and I hear their situation, and I've been out of debt for a while. So now it reminds me of the things I used to be involved in, and part of when I was in debt that I've forgotten since I've been out of debt. So, um, for example, I want you guys to see and feel what I'm telling you, what I'm sharing with you. All right, that these are things you cannot see when you're in debt. You know, you're trying your best to figure out how to get out of the situation you're in today financially, and you naturally think that it's going to take more money or get a better job to get out of this situation, and it's not. It really doesn't matter how much money you make. It's a uh, being broke, poor, whatever. It's a mindset, and if you don't realize that, it doesn't matter how much money you make because you're gonna stay in the same situation. I'll give you a few examples. Uh, but with 401k, if you get a 401k loan, you're in financial trouble because only people that are in financial trouble would get a 401k loan. Now, 401k loan, if most of you guys don't know, is you can borrow against your retirement. You know, I think it's up to like 50%. You can borrow up to 50% of your retirement. So you're borrowing. Think about what I'm saying, okay? And anything I tell you, just follow with math. If you start to get feelings about it, again, who are you, Linnell? You don't have a finance degree. What college did you go to? Blah, bitty, blah. All I'm talking about is fifth grade math, grade school math. That's it, nothing more than that. If you're, hmm, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about, I'm just thinking about things when I was in debt. But anyway, uh, if you're borrowing against your 401k, I know it sounds like it sounds inviting. Okay, think about it. It's better than bank rates. You pay yourself back with interest. All these things that sound good. It just doesn't make it doesn't make mathematical sense. But when you're in debt, it sounds like the easiest, quickest way to get out of debt. But what you're doing is really going further into debt, but you can't really see it because you're just thinking about that money, getting a hold of that money in your hand, right? If you have, say, like you borrow against your 401k and you have student loan debt, that just that just digs you deeper in the hole. And what people don't understand that get these type of loans, now your job owns you. Once you get that loan, your job owns you. Because if you quit that job or you get laid off, now you got to pay all that money back that you borrowed. And if you have, because like I said before, people in debt borrow against their 401k. Okay, only people in debt do things like that, right? People that are debt, living in the red, whatever, right? It If you have a ton of debt and you borrow against your 401k, you're in deeper debt, and they know if you get laid off, quit your job, you can't pay that money back. You can't. That's why you had to borrow the money because you were in debt. And if you damn that just when I think about it more and more, it's just God, it's just so bad. They do people in debt so bad. And I can't even say do people in debt so bad because it's all a choice. I got to stop using the wrong words. I don't want to use the wrong words with you guys because it's a choice. They're not doing it. It's just business. But they know if you're in debt, you're not going to be able to pay that money back if you get laid off or quit. And guess what? Boom, you're not going to. Oh, and then the IRS is going to tax you heavy for pulling that money early. They're going to tax you twice. They're going to add that amount you borrowed to your annual salary of that year, and then they're going to give you a 10% penalty for pulling it early. Ooh, mm. Now your job owns you. Now you have to go to a place. You already don't want, I mean, nobody really wants a job, okay? Nobody really wants, ooh, man, I really want to work. Nobody really wants a job, but when you're in debt, you have to. And now you're stuck thinking there's no way out. Mm. Anyway, and you combine that with student loan debt, credit card debt, car payments on top of that loan. Oh, man. The only way out of, if you can't pay back your 401k loan, the only way out of that, you must quit your job. Quit your job. And that's going to happen. If you quit your job, then that loan's going to come due, right? Then they're going to add it to your annual salary. Then you're going to get taxed and then you're going to get penalized. But you'll be out. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that unless you quit your job. And that's whoever designed this is just somebody designed this. I'm going to tell you guys something. I promise you. And it's not a bad thing, okay? I'm not saying it's bad. It's just business. Don't mix your feelings in there. They knew, like if a client comes to me and say, hey man, how can I get out of these student loans? I mean not student loans, but these 401k loans because I can't pay them back. The only thing I can tell them is that they must quit their job to do it. And then and if you tell somebody that, they're going to look at me like like I'm crazy. Quit my job? Are you insane? I know it sounds insane, but that's the only way out. Unless you pay back every penny. But if you got car payments, student loan payments, credit card payments, rent, all this stuff, you're not paying that back. I remember, let me tell you a story about myself because I always point it to everybody else. And I want you to know you're not by yourself, okay? And if you get like that, if you feel like you're alone in this, like you're the only one in debt, don't be don't be fooled by social media, Facebook, Instagram, all this stuff. Don't be fooled by people's vacations and cars. This is all you got to do. Google student loan debt, car loan debt, credit card debt. It's in the trillions. You're not alone. A lot of people are out here fooling you, pretending that they're just living this luxury life, and they're not. All you got to do is Google it. I remember back in 2006 or 7, I had went, and I was at that age, I was about 36, 37. And I fell for at this age, I must have a house, a car, kids, white picket fence. It's TV. Okay, that's just TV. Never once did I stop and say, wait a minute, why do I have to have that? Says who? The only thing only thing I was looking at the people around me. That's it. Just, oh, they're doing this. Oh, they must be doing good. Oh, he's got that house because he has that job. Okay, but that's not true. It has nothing to do with a person's employment. But anyway, I had bought this townhome, financed this townhome. It was like 200 something $1,000, right? And I'm thinking, oh, I got a great deal. I didn't have no money, people. I was making good money. At that time, I was probably making about $80,000 a year. Okay. Now, a lot of people might look at that money and say, oh, that's a lot of money. No, not if you minus taxes. It's not that much money. And especially when you're in debt, it ain't that much money. I remember This is before the bust, the 2008 bust. They were just giving away homes. As long as you had a pulse, it was giving. Anyway, I had not a clue. I had no money. I was complete. My finances were in a complete deep red, and and I got approved for this place with no money down. And I remember the bankers at that particular time. They were like, "Hey, borrow some money from somebody so you can show that you have X amount of money in the bank, so you can say that you can cover a month or two of rent, just a mortgage if you lost your job, blah blah blah, and then you can go ahead." They're telling me this stuff, right? And then you can pull it back out and give it back just to show it for. I said, okay, yeah, great, they're working for me. Yeah, you just think that. I just thought that, right? And then I get this place, not having a clue of what type of mortgage I had, the fees. I had no money to put down, zero. Uh, and then they gave me the keys, and I really thought I was a homeowner. I was fitting in all right with everybody else. And then I would brag, hey, look what I just bought. Look, this is my new house, townhome, whatever you want to call it, right? And all I was doing is fitting in. Today that I know, I was just fitting in with other people that were in the same debt situation I was in. That's it, nothing more than that. Mm. And I remember that year, about 2000. This is in Seattle, Washington. We had a bad rainstorm, right? And I didn't really have that house more than a year, and it got flooded out. I mean, the whole place got flooded, and then I ended up just letting it go and losing. And then 2008 hit, and I was just like, screw it, I'm done with it. Turns out that was a blessing that happened, total blessing, because I would have never owned that home ever, ever. I would have never owned it, but I didn't know. I didn't know at the time that it was a blessing, right? But now that I can see debt, and back to this 401k thing, you're trapped. The fees associated with it, it's just business. That's why you can't contribute to it unless you have a job. This is designed. You can't contribute to your 401k unless you have a job. Once you quit your job, you can't keep putting money into it. You can't do something else. Say, I'm gonna keep adding money to my 401. You can't. Do you ever notice why? Don't you ever wonder why you can't do that? There's a reason why you can't do that. You must work. So you can contribute and you can get a loan against it. And then once you get a loan against it, now you're trapped at your job. You're trapped. Quit your job, that loan is due. And if you borrowed against your 401k, you're not gonna be able to pay it back. That's why they let you borrow up to 50% of your retirement. God, that is so dirty. I mean, me saying dirty, those are feelings. Feelings and money don't go together. Math and money are one. The only thing that can separate math and money are feelings. When they get in between, mm, that's why this channel is here to help people that kind of realize something is wrong. That realize no matter how much money, you ever notice, no matter how much money you make, you still can't get ahead and just cannot figure out why. You want to go to ask people around you, but they're doing the same thing you're doing. So you can't figure, you're like, I can't. You ask somebody this question, and then they tell you to go borrow some more money or refinance your car. It's just and it doesn't make sense. That's because they're living in a debt matrix the same as you are. They don't realize math is law when it comes to your money. Math is law. You break the laws, you ain't gonna win financially, especially with a 401k loan. Don't do that. If you're thinking about doing that, that's an indication that you're in financial trouble. All you gotta do is do the math. This is sort of I'm gonna give you another example so you can kind of, and I want you to pay close attention so you can kind of understand what I mean by understand what I'm saying. Okay. Do you ever hear? Have you ever heard in your throughout your life like money's not real? Money's fake. It's just paper. It ain't worth nothing and all that other stuff, right? It's only worth what you believe money's worth, right? $100 bill versus a $1 bill takes the same amount of pennies to make the both papers. It's just got a different denomination on it. It never really changes. Yeah, you give a 20, they give you change back, but that denomination of that bill really never changes. It just stays the same and floats around, right? This is this is how you determine if money is real for you or not. And I'm gonna keep this very, very simple so you can understand. Okay. If you have, let's say, a $20,000 student loan, okay, and you have $1,000 in the bank, 1,000 minus 20,000 is negative $19,000. Now you just put in your own numbers in that scenario. You have no money. If you had $20,000 in student loan debt and I gave you $5,000, say like I said, hey, I'm gonna give you $5,000. Now, people that are living in the financial red and the negative, they will believe that they have $5,000 to spend it on whatever they want to spend it on. Go get some shoes, purse, new watch, right? But if you do the math, did I say 20? I said 20, right? If you do the math, 5,000 minus 20,000 is negative $15,000. The $5,000 doesn't exist for you. It's not real. I know you can feel it, you can touch it, you can even go spend it. But remember, math is law. It's negative $15,000. That money is not real for you. It doesn't exist. Money doesn't exist for you when you're living in the financial red. It's that simple. I was thinking about when I was thinking about that 401k stuff, man. I was like, can you imagine how many people have 401k loans? People actually brag about borrowing against, like, how much they can borrow against the 401k. They say this stuff out loud in front of people. I've heard it. Oh, I got this much in my 401k. You're telling you what you're really doing. People that understand money and manage money well, that live in a financial black, that tells me that that person's in debt. If they're talking about borrowing, if they're borrowing from their future to pay for their past. You know what I'm saying? If you're borrowing from your 401k, you're borrowing from your future to pay for your past debts today. And that's not free. I know they make it sound like the bank rates it's better than bank rates, blah giddy blah. It's just the stupidest nonsense. I mean, it's not dumb because it's business, but I'm talking about for the person in debt, they're getting taken full advantage of. And let me tell you something now. If you're borrowing thousands from your 401k, you're not paying it back. You're not. They give you up to like 5 years to pay it back. Oh my God. In your mind, to a person in debt, that sounds lovely. Ooh, I got 5 years to pay it back. Ooh, I can. It's the rates are better than the bank rates. I can borrow up to 50% of my 401k, and even they'll let you even borrow more if it's for a house and all this other nonsense. It's just the craziest nonsense. I feel for if this is you, I do feel for you, and not that I'm feeling like pity for you, or I feel bad for you. No, they're just taking advantage of you. The system is taking advantage of your lack of knowledge about your own money. That's it. This is why it's my passion, and this is why if you follow me and you go by you go by what I'm saying, it'll make sense if you just do the math. Just do the math, and you'll understand. All you got to do, if you don't if you don't believe what I'm saying, it's like those are feelings, okay? Those are all feelings because everything I'm saying makes sense if you just do the math. And if you still don't believe me, this is all you got to do. Figure out, add up all your debt, right? Add up every penny. So you'll know exactly how much debt you're in down to the penny because most people, everybody guesses. Hey, how much debt you're in? Oh, I think I'm around this. I just personally stop listening and add 10 or 20,000 on top of that because it's a guess. You know what that sounds like when you apply math as law? If I asked you, hey, what's 10 plus 10? And you go, it's around 18, 17. That's that's what it that's what it is when you say that about your debt. Now, if you said that to anybody on the street, they would look at you like you're crazy. They would look at you like, what? What you mean around? Sort of, kind of, what? No, it's 20. It's not around 20. It's not close to 20. It's not 21-ish. It's 20. And if you add up all your debt down to the penny, I want you to do this. Do this for a week. Do it casually. Hey, ask friends, family. Hey, you know how much debt you're in? How much debt do you have? See how many people guess. And then if they do exactly what I'm telling you, come back to this channel. You know, when that happens, say to yourself, how in the hell did Linnell know that? I'm not a fortune teller. I'm just doing basic math. That's it, nothing more than that. And then you come back and I'll help you figure out that answer. I'll help you get out of all that legally. Mm, it just, I don't know why. You know what? This is what it is. Let me tell you guys something, okay? There's nothing like financial freedom. There's nothing like it. To owe nobody on earth a dime, there's nothing like it. Nothing. That pressure of always needing money, always needing money, is no longer there. I barely even, the weirdest thing now, I know you're thinking, okay, he must be rich. He must have money. No, don't stop thinking about money like that. Only thing you need to understand is, are your finances in the red, meaning below zero, or are your finances in the black, above zero? The math we learned in grade school. That's it. Nothing more than that. The math we learned in grade school. I'm telling you guys, there's nothing like this freedom. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because I can't, you have to do it. In order to feel this, you have to feel what you spent. You have to feel what you borrowed. The only way you're going to feel it is by working hard and paying that back. Once you pay it back, that allows you to feel what you spent. Once you feel that, you will never accidentally go back into debt. You'll see a 401k loan for what it is. It's just a business opportunity for the job, for the IRS. Uh, you get a 401k loan, man, your job and the IRS owns you. They own you. Hmm. All right, you guys have a good one. I hope that reaches a few people. If you like these videos, turn on that reminder button to get alert every time I do a live video or upload a video. If you want to talk about it, I get a few clients now, which is nice. Before the 15-minute consultation, they'll send me emails and kind of lay out their situation, which saves me a lot of time for the questions I need to ask them to see where they're at so I can help them. But if you want to do that, write me an email at debaintmydaddy@gmail.com, and then give me kind of like a little brief cliff note of your situation. And when we get on the phone, I'll know exactly the type of questions I'm going to ask you, and we can just go from there. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.